Welcome to the Mass Member Golf Club Kitchen. Here we are again today for another Chef Mo's update. So right now we're looking at the meat markets are going absolutely crazy because of COVID, fuel, and labor issues. With that, we do have some great stuff in-house. So right here I have New York strips. So we have 4 different varieties. So starting from the left, you have the Select. This is a Choice. This is the Creekstone that we use here, and this is your prime steak. And as you can see, the steak, the quality of it will go by how it looks, the marbleization. The Select, very red meat, very little marbling. The Choice, again, nice and red, a little bit more marbling. The Creekstone, very, very well marbled, and nice bright color. And then here's the prime again, very well marbled. So why do we use the Creekstone? We use the Creekstone, and we also use 1855 when Creekstone is not available. These two companies are the top 3% of all choice meat that is produced. It is USDA certified and is graded almost at prime, but since it doesn't have a prime stamp on it, we cannot make it prime. So it is a Black Angus variety, and as you can see between the two, they are very, very comparable between each other. Also, 14-ounce fillets on the menu as well. That is also a Creekstone variety, and that's also, again, the top 3% of choice. Would be very close to being a prime steak. So here we have a full-size ribeye. This is a boneless ribeye. It's 1855 variety. The Creekstone was not available. The availability on certain brands are not available all the time right now. We're running into a little bit of an issue with that, but keeping it comparable. So I keep it between the two. So this is a full boneless ribeye. There's no bones on this side here. We're going to take a weight before I trim it, and I'm going to cut a 16-ounce portion that we use on our menu right now. We're going to trim it nice and clean and tight. That way there's very little fat, and it's edible from one end to the other. On these as well, as you see, you can eat almost from top to bottom. There's a little bit of fat, but you have to have some fat for flavor. Also, it'll be very dry and not flavorful. So, with that fat will render down. Your best bet with that would be a medium rare cook. A rare cook, the fat doesn't really cook enough to where it will actually soften up. So, I'm going to open this guy up. We'll take a quick weight beforehand. We'll do a weight comparison after it's trimmed. So, the price of a Select to all the way up to the Creekstone and the Prime is about $6 a pound difference across the board. So it is very much so a big difference. Take it out of the wrapper. Put it in the pan. So we're going to turn the scale on. We're going to tear it so it's actually zeroed out. And now we'll add the weight right now. And we have 18.5 pounds. Okay, so we're going to start trimming our ribeye. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to come along here where the ribs would be. We're going to cut this down to get any of the silver skin, sinew off, so that way there's not any toughness in the meat here. So we trim them very tight and clean. And even when we do a prime rib, it's the same thing. Very, very tightly trimmed. So it's all edible meat. We'll do the way up while we trim at the end. So we're going to go through and do what they call a rib fingers. This is the meat that goes in between the ribs right here. Pretty good, but if you get this, you'll have a big chunk of fat and also some silver skin as well. As you can see where it's at right there. So we take all this off. So it's a nice edible steak. flip the piece over. Okay. So this part here as well, you see the lines coming here. That's very tough. I would say it's inedible. Very chewy. We don't want to give you that. We want to be able to have the whole thing. So again, we'll start trimming all that off. The excess fat. So now we're going to look at the tail. There's a tail right here. It goes right here. You can see the fat. And the tail goes all the way across. So I'll feel it with my hands. You can see the seam runs right along here. So from here, we're going to cut almost all the tail off. And we'll trim some of the fat as well. So these animals are grass fed, and their fish, it's important to get extra marbling into them. The grass feeding makes them nice and marble on the inside, where the corn will just give them a little extra on the outside here. So just a little bit more trim. Now our ribeye is ready to be cut in portions. And that's about as clean as we're going to be able to get it. And you can see there's not much fat on here left. No silver skin. All this will just melt off as we cook it on the grill. Tear the scale again. Make sure it's zeroed out. Now we're going to add the weight. So the total weight of unusable product is 4 pounds. So our 18.5 pound boneless ribeye went from 18.5 to 14.5 pounds. So it's about, let's say, 14 portions out of that big piece of meat. So right there, your cost has gone up by 25% on what is usable product and what isn't. So here we're going to cut our portions. We're going to cut a 16-ounce portion. We kind of line up by eye and thickness. Now that's going to be a little bit big, I believe. But if you can see, that's a beautiful, well marbled piece of meat. It's gorgeous. And the top piece is exactly what you want right there. So here we go. As we go further down the rib. Again, beautifully well marbled. So here we have 3 beautiful 16-ounce ribeyes that we have on the menu. Also, when you see grocery programs from this year and also from last year as well, these are the exact same steaks that we were selling in the 8-ounce version and now in the 14-ounce version of the grocery program. So again, thank you very much. Great time at the Mass River Golf Club Kitchen. We'll see you out there.